The Bayou Ranch is a National Historic Site. It was chosen 20 years ago to commemorate the history of ranching in Canada. As a matter of fact, it's the only ranch in Canada that commemorates that history. There's 37 buildings here that are in situ, so they were already here and they're of the period of time. We're commemorating from 1881 to 1950 here. It's a big period of commemoration, almost 70 years. And these buildings start like in 1881, and then it goes right up to some of the buildings were built in the 1940s. So they could keep the buildings and tell the story as it changed. It's an evolution of time. In 1881, they were putting a railroad across Canada, and John A. Macdonald at the time was the Prime Minister, and he could see an influx of Americans coming up from Montana. So he started designating land at a penny an acre. You could lease land at a penny an acre. And a fellow by the name of Fred Stimson went down east, got two wealthy steamship guys to back him, so the Bayou ended up being 158,000 acres. So it was a cattle operation. They ran close to 10,000 head at one time. In the 1900s, they started coming in, and that's where you come into the second owner of the Bayou, which was George Lane. George Lane came from the United States. He was a cowboy, and he ended up doing some freight runs, ended up in Montana. They hired him to come up here, and he actually worked for Fred Stimson. George Lane was a pretty good hand, so he worked as a cowboy here, and he took over in 1902, and he was an innovator. He was always thinking ahead, and he had a lot of respect. He had a big chunk of land to run, and he was very smart about it. And he could see that there was an influx of people getting their plots of land, right? So the idea came in his head. If they're going to have land, they need to plow it. So he started raising Percheron horses. He chose Percherons because of their bone structure and their personalities. They were gentle giants. And George Lane became known as the largest Percheron breeder in the world. He had over 1,000 Percheron horses here at one time. He was one of the front-running pioneers. He is why we are where we are today. The cowboys all know about George Lane and what he's done, but maybe a lot of the other people don't. And that's why it's so important to have this National Historic Site, to educate people on what these guys did, these early pioneers. It'll be a long living legacy.